Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We're learning new information tonight. Governor Doug Burgum has announced an additional 7 confirmed coronavirus cases in North Dakota. That brings the number of cases to 26. 938 North Dakotans have now been tested for COVID-19. 60 people are currently being monitored for symptoms, and currently there are 2 people in the hospital.
But having said all that, again, North Dakota remains well prepared and well positioned to deal with this, because we are one of the last places in North America where it's reaching. And so again, we can look at other states that are weeks ahead of us and see what our future may hold.
Governor Burgum also said the coronavirus isn't taking the weekend off, and neither are state leaders. They will still be holding press briefings tomorrow and Sunday at 4 in the afternoon, and we'll be carrying those right here on Valley News Live and on our website, valleynewslive.com. Minnesota health officials announced today that the number of positive COVID-19 cases in the state has reached 15. That's up from 89 cases just yesterday. Clay County is also showing 1 confirmed case. The age range of patients is between 17 and 94 years old, and the state has tested nearly 4,000 people so far. Although 115 people have tested positive for the disease, health officials warn that the true number of people with it in the state is likely much higher. It's a little brisk out there today, but we don't have to wait too much longer before we warm up. Let's get the latest on this evening from Hutch in your First Alert Storm Team Center. Hutch?
Yeah, just looking at those blue skies makes me smile, and the fact that that wind is finally starting to taper off are really improving things as well. But it is not hot across the valley as we head into your evening. Cloud cover a little bit in northwest Minnesota, but it's of the high variety. Our wind speeds have really tapered off, down under 10 miles per hour for most. It is starting to pick up from the south out in the western Dakotas. For us, temperatures are already cool in the teens for most. We're holding on, though, to mid-20s from Sisseton wrapped around through Wadena and Bemidji at this hour. Here's Fargo's planner. Temperatures slipping into the single digits. I think we'll be mostly clear as we go through the evening hours. We will have temperatures sliding to near zero as we go through the overnight, and sub-zero once again up north. So a cool close to the work week. I'll have details on warmer weather, but Andrea, as is often the case, a warm-up comes with a few growing pains. We'll go over all of that in a minute.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Across the state of North Dakota, bars and restaurants have closed their dining rooms and won't be opening them back up for weeks. Governor Doug Burgum is requiring all restaurants, bars, and gyms to shut down by noon or risk a $1,000 fine. The order is meant to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The closures will be in effect until at least April 6th. The closures could last longer if health officials express concerns that the virus will linger until July. President Trump expressed great optimism over a drug used for malaria that could be useful in the treatment of the coronavirus.
So it's not a drug that you have a huge amount of danger with. It's not like a brand new drug that's been just created that may have an unbelievable monumental effect, like kill you. We're going to know very soon. And I can tell you, the FDA is working very hard to get it out. Right now, in terms of malaria, if you want it, you can have a prescription. You get a prescription. And by the way, and it's very effective. It works.
Also during the briefing, in a briefing in Minnesota, Dr. Deborah, that is the Trump briefing, Dr. Deborah Birx said they will continue to see people under 20 years old who may have had the severe disease, but all have recovered. The Fargo Police Department is alerting the community to a high-risk sex offender moving into the metro. 32-year-old Jesse Yankee is now living at 726 College Street North. That is close to NDSU. He was convicted in 2016 of patronizing a minor for sexual activity when he tried to have sexual contact with a police officer posing as a 16-year-old girl online. Proof Artisan Distillers in downtown Fargo has been approved from the federal licensing authorities to allow them to produce hand sanitizer. So today, the company handed out their limited number of 60-milliliter bottles of hand sanitizer on a first-come, first-served basis. They do plan to have more on the way. The bottles are free with the purchase of food or merchandise. The Fargo Police Department is taking even more steps to make sure it's not spreading any potential viruses in the community. The department says after every shift and after someone is hauled in a police car, it gets completely wiped down. Police say they also have 2 special units dedicated to transporting people who may have been exposed to COVID-19. Just weeks ago, it was in the daily spotlight. Now the presidential primary is being overshadowed by the coronavirus pandemic. As lawmakers and other officials work to battle the global crisis, our D.C. Bureau reporter, Kristen Casper, met with Senator Amy Klobuchar for the first time since she suspended her presidential campaign, as rumors circulate about a possible future for her in the White House.
Senator Amy Klobuchar suspended her presidential campaign just hours before Super Tuesday began, before Minnesotans could even cast their ballots. Now, she tells me it was a necessary move after failing to cinch the required delegates to compete with her opponents. Now, former Vice President Joe Biden said he will be choosing a female running mate, but he has yet to announce who.
I made that decision based on the math and based on where I thought I was going to be. I knew I was going to win my state, but I thought, what's the best thing for the country right now? And that's why I endorsed Vice President Biden.
And lastly, I have to ask, do you see yourself on the ticket as a running mate in November?
Yeah, I'm not going to engage in those hypotheticals because right now I'm just here doing my job. There is nothing more important right now than getting at this crisis and helping the people of our country.
Several states have postponed their primaries because of the coronavirus. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kristen Casper.
Klobuchar adds there's nothing more important than evading this crisis and helping the people of this country. In a news conference today in Minnesota, the infectious disease director there reminded residents just because COVID-19 hasn't shown up in your county doesn't mean it won't. Chris Erisman says coronavirus is circulating in all of our communities, and she continues to encourage everyone to stay home.
When do you seek medical care? If you have a fever and respiratory symptoms and can manage them at home, you should. If you would not have called your health care provider last October when COVID-19 was not circulating, you don't need to do so now.
Erisman goes on to say it's not necessary to have a COVID-19 diagnosis, and some of the symptoms are manageable from home. However, if you are having difficulty breathing, you should call your doctor. The same goes if you are elderly or have underlying health conditions and you have symptoms. She reminds people there is no treatment for COVID-19 outpatients. The gas prices, they are still going down in our area. A quick search on GasBuddy.com shows that prices have dropped to $1.69 at Love's off of 39th Street in Fargo. And across the street, it is $1.97 at the Flying J. Up in Grand Forks, Sam's Club off of 32nd Avenue in Grand Forks shows $1.79. Hospitals across the country are facing an all-time equipment shortage. That story's coming up later on Valley News Live at 6.
Low temperatures this morning were mighty low, well below zero, north of the white line you see on your screen, with wind chills that were brutal. We do have a warm-up coming, but it's going to come with some growing pains as well. We'll spell it all out in your hour-by-hour forecast next.